Good evening, Dr. Kitts. My name is Michael George. I'm 73 and a lifelong resident of Fort Erie. I've practiced law for 48 years, and together with my wife Margaret for 50 years, we've raised our family secure in the knowledge that the Douglas Memorial Emergency was open 24 hours a day to look after our medical needs no matter at what hour those needs arose. Our security, fair and equal treatment under the Canada Health Act is now being threatened by the NHS, the very institution charged with providing health services on uniform terms and conditions without impeding or precluding those services, now proposes to turn our hospital into a care center. Since Douglas Memorial will no longer be designated a hospital, it will no longer be able to accept ambulances. It follows that residents of Fort Erie who call an ambulance and require immediate medical attention by a doctor and not just a paramedic to save their life will have to be transported to Niagara Falls, Welland, or St. Catharines. Is this fair, equal, and unimpeded treatment, Dr. Kitts? Such callous and negligent disregard for our well-being and safety may well lead to expensive litigation based on the denial of 24-hour emergency service in Fort Erie. By what legal and moral right, Dr. Kitts, does the NHS and its board of directors place a lesser value on the lives of Fort Erie residents compared to residents of Niagara Falls, Welland, and St. Catharines, who will continue to enjoy an unequal benefit of 24-hour emergency service? During the past fiscal year, NHS received provincial funding of $315 million, an average of $725 for each of the 430,000 people NHS is obliged to provide services for. According to the NHS, it cost $14.5 million to operate Douglas Memorial last year. Based on a population of 30,000, Fort Erie residents' share of that $315 million amounted to $21,700,000. In effect, during the last fiscal year alone, we subsidized the system by $7,200,000. Is that fair and equal treatment, Dr. Kitts? It should be obvious that Douglas Memorial Hospital is not the problem and should not be changed by a plan that is contrary to the principles of the Canada Health Act and the stated needs of our community by the medical doctors who live and practice in Fort Erie. The blame for the inability to operate the system fairly, equally, and efficiently lies directly with the NHS board and its management. They must not be allowed to play God with our lives to overcome their shortcomings. Dr. Kitts, for the reasons I have stated, we respectfully urge you to reject the NHS Health Improvement Plan as it relates to Fort Erie. Thank you for coming.